Hello, and welcome back to the channel, The PROWIRC Method, where we talk about concepts from the book, Happiness and Well-Being Through Balance and Progress, The PROWIRC Method. Today is probably going to be a little shorter show, but today we're specifically going to talk about the mantra. The mantra that I've written and that I've been giving on most of the end of the shows for people to recite. And I've had people say, actually, pretty good response to the things that, hey, I really like the mantra. And then, they say, how did you come up with the things in the mantra? Or, what do the specific things in the mantra mean to you? Because they're liking saying it and they're enjoying it, but they're just wanting to know what I meant by the various things I picked and why did I pick the things I picked for this mantra. And so I'm going to put that together with why have a mantra. So, why have a mantra? Well, the reason I think that I want to have a mantra myself, and I've been using this very regularly, and I would like everybody to have one, this one, or you could write one up yourself, or you can find another one online or somewhere, something that you think really relates to you. But the reason I like this mantra, and it really relates to me to have a mantra, is that, in our daily life, we oftentimes, one of the things that goes on all the time that works against us a little bit is anytime, there's a little bit of, between the activities and things we're doing, between things we're learning, between things we're getting to in our schedule, every time we get a little free time, that we're not on our telephones, we're listening to little stories that we tell ourselves in our head. And oftentimes the stories, the self-talk, can get negative. I don't know why that is. I don't know if every last person experiences it that way, but most of the people I've talked to have experienced a thing where if they're not sort of keeping a little bit of a handle on that voice and conversation in their head, the voice and conversation in their head starts to get a little negative. Like, wow, I should be further ahead in my life right now. I don't think I'm making the progress I should have. Remember that one time I said that stupid thing at a party and embarrassed myself? I don't think that there's one particular person at the party, I don't think they've ever thought as well of me ever since. Or, just the stupidest things that pop into our heads all the time and rob us of our mental energy and our ability to progress and knock us off track. And again, it's just negative self-talk. It pops in there. And I experience this lots of times myself. And oftentimes it will be that kind of thing that, that one interaction, that maybe happened 20 years ago where I said something that I would probably say it differently now. Or maybe I said something that was taken the wrong way, or something that I thought, oh, that was kind of stupid or embarrassing or whatever. Or, all of those things, again, that the other person in that conversation probably has so long ago forgotten this. They don't even remember that it's ever even happened. But, your brain always brings up these little things that just chip away at you and knock away at you. I don't know why that happens. I think it happens to most people. I'd like to be the one person it doesn't happen to, but I'm a person that it definitely happens to. So I can definitely use a mantra. And what I use that mantra for is every time something starts popping into my head as I'm driving down the road that's negative, there's tough things in the news, or what are you going to do with that thing at work that's worrying you or bothering you, but you're not sitting down to solve it right now. You're just going to worry about it, or you think, gee, made all these choices in my life. Some of them took me closer to the path I'm happy with. Some of them took me further away. How did I do that? Anyway, all of this negative self-talk noise can be knocked away from you just by having a mantra. And this is the one I wrote for me, and I like having it, and I start to repeat it in my mind. Now, mine is long enough that just the concentration it takes for me to remember it, because I'll tell you, there's a time where I can memorize things. Okay, this gets to be an age thing. I'm not trying to make this a one age versus another age kind of video, but as you go along in your age, it gets to be more difficult to memorize things. So the mantra is long enough that, yes, I have memorized it, and I do know it. But when I go to say it, I have to focus and think about it so that I can get the few little points in the right order and say them correctly. And that alone clears my mind. And so of course, this is the mantra that I've been using. The mantra is, I am a unique being, separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, or anxiety every minute of every day. So the other thing we're going to talk about with this mantra today, obviously, when you take the time to remember those few lines, and you take the time to say it to yourself, now you've knocked that self-talk, that negative self-talk thing away. And not only that, if you start doing it kind of regularly, anytime you get that negative self-talk going, you create that habit of saying, hey, that's negative self-talk. No, I'm not going for that. I'm going to use my mantra and get back on track here to clear my mind, at least feel good, at least feel, happy and well adjusted in my day without, nitpicking every little thing in my life that I would have done differently up until now, and blowing all those things up in your own face as you're driving down the road, not even looking at the sunshine. You say a mantra, it blows it away. You get in the habit of using a mantra, you're in the habit of not having that negative self-talk. Very good. Why did I write the mantra the way that I have it here? And actually, when I'm saying it on the channel here, I don't try to say it from inside my head, because this idea of talking on a channel is still kind of a new performance art for me. And the minute I go to put together 3 lines that I'm thinking about, I'll be looking at the ceiling and staring into my brain. And so the mantra I have written on a card in front of me here, and I'm just going to say the mantra, and then I'm going to quickly go over why did I pick these things for the mantra. So if you want to use it or you're enjoying it, these might be the reasons you're enjoying it. If you come up with other reasons that you're enjoying it, please leave that as a comment for me. I appreciated lately also the comment that was on the channel. The person said, hey, I'm enjoying the mantra. So it made me think about doing this one on it. So I am a unique being, separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, or anxiety every minute of every day. Why did I choose those specific lines for this mantra? Well, the first one, I am a unique being, separate from my situation. Why do I think that's important for people to consider? Does it mean you're in a bad situation? No. Whatever it is you're doing in your life is a situation in your life. And you've made choices to get there, and some of them you're going to be happy with. And there's always going to be some that you're not 100% happy with, or sometimes you're not happy with any of it. But the fact is, when you say I'm a unique being, well, that is true. And that's something you should always know. In fact, your uniqueness, is something so special to you that it's a thing that you should consider as something that you should be planning to enjoy your life. So I want you to know I am a unique being. Enjoy that. Consider it important. Separate from my situation, again, it means that given the fact that with my uniqueness, as I've gone along here, I could have made some different choices, and I could make some different choices now, and I could go at my life in a slightly different way, and I could be in a different situation. So whatever the situation is of my life, it doesn't actually define me. It defines the choices that I've been making. It defines the methods that I use to get to those choices, but it does not define me. So I am a unique being. I think that's important for you to know that you are, and separate from your situation, which is important for you to remember that your situation, be it good, bad, or in the middle, is to do with choices that you've made and methods that you've taken to make those choices in your life. And it is a situation that you have created. Again, the entire thing, the way it looks, the way it feels, the way your life, you live it every day, is a thing you've 100% created, and you are a being actually separate to that. Meaning that if you're liking the situation and you would like some improvements on it, you could do that. If you're actually not liking the situation at all and you would like it completely changed, you could do that, because you're a unique being separate from that situation. The next thing you're going to need to know to make those changes: I possess the godlike power of creativity. That is a thing we all possess. And on this channel, I have a number of shows specifically designed around how to use your power of creativity and what are some processes you can use that to solve problems, to be creative, to do creative projects, and all of those things. And we've gone over this a number of times. Also, when we're trying to solve other things on this channel, other ideas, or get to other points from the book, that we are talking about here. We use we're going to use the creative processes differently, but we possess the godlike power of creativity, and we can change any or all of these things, anytime we want to. Now, that's the thing we need to know. So now we have three things. We're a unique being, and you're a unique being. I'm a unique being. I feel that's one of the most important things that you can remind yourself of, and to enjoy that. Secondly, you're separate from your situation. Whether you like your situation or you don't like your situation, you've created the whole thing, and you've used certain processes to do that. And with different processes and using the power of your creativity, you can choose and do different things. And the next line, I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness. You see, these are two very powerful things that I think that you need to put front and center in your life. First of all, knowing that you have the power of creativity to change anything, to create anything, and to do anything, and that you're choosing that power of creativity, okay? And thankfulness. Thankfulness is another thing I put in here because next to your power of creativity, one of the things that can really change your perspective and the power on where you're going is whether or not you go around feeling thankful for the progress you've made and the things you have, or go around feeling very unthankful, for those items, just where you get that sort of feeling sometimes. They go, oh, this is crap, and my life is tough, and this is a downer, and geez, I even hear people get, I went out to a great restaurant the other day, but I had terrible food, and it was cold and whatever, but every time I go there, it's cold, and every time that... You wonder why every time you go there it's cold. I'm not sure. You have this thing where you're feeling like every time you go there it's going to be. It does get to be kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, and maybe that's let's not get too into that right now. But that's the idea of utilizing thankfulness, is the idea that gives you power to draw more positive things toward you. I really do believe that. So creativity, superpower, thankfulness helps you with the power to draw good things toward you over the next line. Fear, apprehension, anxiety. Why did I bother putting those in there? Well, because I know for a fact, anytime you're getting a lot of self-talk, anytime you're feeling a little down, anytime you're going around exhausted, anytime you're putting off doing things that you would like to do or you think you should do or whatever, these things of fear, apprehension, or anxiety, they pop up there. It's like a three-headed dragon. They pop up in your life all the time. They're costing you everything that you've ever wanted to do but didn't do. And they're costing you a lot in your life. So we say we're using the power of creativity, very powerful, and thankfulness, very powerful, over fear, apprehension, and anxiety. Let's name those things right out. I want you to name those things out and spot them. As soon as you're feeling fear, as soon as you're feeling apprehension, as soon as you're feeling anxiety, and it happens all the time. If you're thinking, well, I was going to do this, but I don't think it's going to do. I'm not even going to do it right now because it may not turn out. That's fear, that's apprehension, that's anxiety. I have this great creative project I would like to do, but I'm not going to start it today. Why am I not going to start it today? Because you have that fear that maybe I'm not going to be able to do it. That apprehension of, if I start, I'm going to disappoint myself. Anxiety. I'm just feeling anxiety from other things I watched today on the news, and they rob me of my power, and so I'm not even going to do it today. And the last line on this is every minute of every day. And let's put that together with, okay, so I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, and anxiety. And the reason I have this last line in here, every minute of every day, is to remind you that the things that you need to know, that you're a unique being and that you're separate from your situation, and that you have the godlike power of creativity, and you're choosing the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear and apprehension and anxiety every minute of every day, so that you don't drive along down the street thinking and listening to all the negative self-talk and just being too pounded by the news. Actually, the truth of it is, as much as we're pounded by the news and some things that can certainly bother us there, most people are actually more pounded by the stories going on in their head about stuff that happened so long ago. No one else but you would be able to remember it. So this is put together as a very specific and powerful mantra that I use for me. And so when I say every minute of every day, I'm reminding myself that, hey, the very minute I'm feeling self-talk, the very minute I'm putting off doing something that's really important to me, I have to get to the fact that there's no good reason to put off things you want to do. You know, people say, oh, I'm a procrastinator. You know, I just naturally do that. I'll tell you, if you're procrastinating on things that are good for you, it's because of fear, apprehension, anxiety. So please try this mantra. Try to get in the habit of pushing that negative stuff away. And again, I am a unique and powerful being, separate from my situation. I possess the godlike power of creativity, and I choose the power of creativity and thankfulness over fear, apprehension, or anxiety every minute of every day. Thanks again for coming to the channel, The PROWIRC Method. And please like and subscribe if you like it, the material here. And please try this mantra. And if you're going to do that, write it down. And obviously try to learn it so that you do have to concentrate, because when you concentrate and say it to yourself, even I've probably said it to myself 1,000 times now, but I still have to think of the order and that kind of thing when I'm not reading it. But just the time it takes me to do that, it's a great exercise for my mind. It certainly gets rid of any negative self-talk and things that were going on. It also gets rid of the habit of that. And again, thanks for coming out today, and hope to please also give me some comments. If you like the mantra, or if you have another idea for a mantra, or you have something you're using better, I mean, that you're enjoying better, that relates to you, hey, happily put it in the comments. I'd love to see other mantras, and maybe people that are looking at the channel, you know, can even see and share other ideas. That's what it's for, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.